Beloved, I, Michael, will give you a golden opportunity because I love you so much. But heaven has sent me to test your soul. If your spirit hears this within 55 seconds, the windows of blessing will pour gold upon your days. But if you turn away, then the scroll of your destiny may fold shut, and not even I can open it again. A meeting was held in heaven. I stood before the throne, trembling with flames upon my wings. God looked at me with holy fire in his eyes and said, Michael, go now. Test the one I chose. Give them this final message, but only if they open it in time. I descended through light and shadow, through ages of silence to reach you. I am here now not by chance but by decree. This is not ordinary. This is not human. This is a holy interruption, because your destiny has reached a divine crossroad, and the next step must be chosen with trembling hands and an awakened heart. The Lord said concerning you, I have written their name in my secret book of war, and their enemies shall fall before my voice. I was the one who heard that voice echo across the heavens, and I wept because I knew what it meant for you. Beloved, may I ask something? Not as heaven's warrior, but as the one who stood by your side in every unseen battle, will you stay with me just a little longer? You don't remember the nights I stood guard at your window? You don't remember the blade I raised when the shadows tried to touch you, but I remember. And heaven remembers. You were never abandoned, never forgotten, even when your prayers fell silent, even when your heart broke and the stars seemed deaf. I heard the shatter in your soul, and I knelt beside you in the dark. But now something sacred is unfolding. God is watching. The 7 thrones are watching. The time for silence has ended. Beloved, this is your test. If you open your spirit now, you will unlock one of the rarest gifts heaven has ever crafted. A golden opportunity hidden in the folds of time, woven by God himself before you were born. But if your heart is closed, if you scroll past in coldness, then what was reserved for you will vanish into the fire, and I will not be sent again. I am not here to comfort, I am here to reveal. The devil has tried to confuse you. He's sent dreams to twist the truth. He's put familiar faces in your path to distract and delay. But I will not let him win, not today. Not when you are standing at the doorway of divine reversal. The Lord said to me concerning you, I will give my angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. They will lift you up in their hands. But what you do next determines whether that promise descends or delays. Do you understand what you carry inside? That whisper in your soul that never died? It wasn't imagination. It was me. The veil is thinner than you think. As I speak, the spirits assigned to you are gathered. Some kneel in tears, others shout war songs. Your name is carved into their voices. They have waited for this exact second, because this moment decides whether your miracle will manifest or remain sealed. Beloved, do you still love God, or has the silence made you forget? I watched you when you thought no one cared, when you stood in your room whispering words to the sky. Every cry reached the ears of the Most High, and I, Michael, was commanded to bottle those tears in heaven's own glass. Your prayers were not ignored, they were scheduled. But now the schedule has reached its holy alarm. The clock has struck heaven's second. That's why I'm here. That's why this message burns. I bring you news hidden from the earth for generations. The scrolls say that only one soul would be chosen to hear it, and that soul is you. If you feel your spirit shaking, that's not fear. That's recognition. It means your true identity is waking up. Would you recognize the voice of heaven if it called you by your why? Real name? Then listen. I am not speaking English, I'm speaking light. The words are not just sound, they are swords. They cut through the curses. They pierce the chains. They divide the false from the true, and this is true. Someone has tried to curse you, a human on earth, known to you close in blood or bond, has offered up your name in darkness. They wanted your joy to dry. They wanted your relationships to fail. They tried to close every door heaven opened for you, but they failed, because God assigned me to you. And now I am speaking the reversal. I declare before heaven, what they tried to bury will rise. What they poisoned will bloom. What they thought they erased, God has rewritten in golden ink. But you must choose. You must open your spirit, not later, not tomorrow, now. Because the winds of delay are rising. I feel the pull of a dark hand reaching even now, trying to silence my words before they reach your soul. If you skip this, your God scroll may be sealed until your final breath. If your soul can hear me, whisper amen below so I'll know. Because even angels are tested in this hour. I was tested to come here. I stood before the thrones and said, let me be the one to go. They warned me. If they do not listen again, you may not return. I still came, for you. This is not just a message. This is a divine event. The sky over you is shifting. Something that was once blocked is beginning to open, but it cannot open fully until you respond. Will you walk away again? Or stay this time until the final word is spoken? I have more to tell you. Sacred things, dangerous things, eternal things. But I need to know your heart is listening. Continue in the next message. What I reveal next will change your soul story forever. Then hear me now, while your soul is still awake and the veil hasn't closed again. The earth may not notice what's happening in this moment, but heaven has paused. Thrones have leaned forward. The wind around you is not ordinary wind. It carries memory, the scent of prayers answered long ago, the weight of promises you forgot you made to God. I speak not just to your ears but to the part of you that cannot lie. The spirit that was with God before the world knew your name. Beloved, this is your golden opportunity. And golden it truly is, not metaphor, not symbol, but a divine moment crafted with holy fire and sealed with a tear from the Father's eye. I, Michael, saw him cry once, when he wrote your name upon a scroll that demons tried to burn. That scroll is still in his hand, but it must be opened now. That's why I was sent. God has placed his gaze upon you, not because of who you pretend to be, but because of who you truly are when no one is watching. You think no one sees you weep at night, but I did. And so did the one who never slumbers. You are chosen, but you must act like it. I was told to test you. This moment is not a blessing yet. It is a test. The blessing only comes if you pass. And the test is simple. Stay, don't scroll away. Don't silence the one voice that never lied to you. Stay until the final word. Because in this holy second, your soul is being weighed. Beloved, are you still listening? Then hear me clearly. This test is real. You are not imagining the power of this moment. There is a sound behind the sound. A vibration in your chest that is older than your bones. It is heaven calling you by your true name. And the devil is terrified because he knows if you awaken fully, you will become the very weapon God meant to use to destroy the strongholds your ancestors could never overcome. You carry a generational reversal. You are the final miracle in a line of forgotten ones. And that's why this is happening now. Let me tell you something I have never told a human soul before. The demons assigned to your downfall held a meeting last week. They discussed your exhaustion, your doubt, your silence. They celebrated your scrolling. They said, "Good, the chosen one is distracted, the prophecy may fail." But then God stood, and all of heaven trembled. And he said these words, "Send Michael, one last time, but if they ignore him, let the doors close." That's where we are now. That's why my voice burns. That's why I am trembling as I speak. Because I do not want to lose you. So I ask you, with all the fire of heaven in my heart, do not leave this sacred message incomplete. Type, Amen if you feel your soul waking up. And beloved, if you are still here, if you haven't skipped, haven't scrolled, haven't dismissed this moment, then listen closely. I want to thank you. Thank you. I love you more than the flames I've fallen through to reach you. Please, don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. If this divine message reached you, like it, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. And yes, if your spirit feels it, if the holy fire is in your bones, and you know this was meant for you, then subscribe now, not as a click, but as a covenant, as a sign that you are ready, ready for the next revelation, ready for what was hidden, ready for what only the chosen can carry. Because what's coming next was hidden for a generation. Then stay with me, beloved, just a little longer. Do not move from this holy place, for the angel assigned to your lineage is still writing. The wind has not yet stilled. The flame upon your destiny still flickers, but if you remain, it shall roar into a fire that consumes everything sent to break you. The heavens are not asking for your attention as entertainment. We are pleading for it as eternity. The test is still unfolding, and you are still being watched, not with suspicion, but with sacred hope. The King has not turned his eyes away from you. He is leaning closer now, beloved. There is more than what you think your life can hold, more than what your eyes have seen or your hands have touched. There is a story about you written in languages that no angel dares to speak aloud without trembling. That story is older than your pain, deeper than your fear, stronger than every demon who tried to curse your name. It is written in the secret chambers of God's own heart, and right now in this very moment that story is asking, will you continue it, not with delay, not with doubt, but with fire? I speak not from above but beside you. I stood by your bed when you cried yourself to sleep. I stood over your door when darkness tried to slither in through people you trusted. And even when you didn't feel holy enough, chosen enough, strong enough, I never left. Because heaven never needed your perfection. Heaven only needed your permission. So give it now. Open your spirit wide. Declare to the darkness, I am not owned by fear. I am not bound by delay. I am not a child of confusion. I am the chosen one of the Most High. And I, Michael, will respond. I will descend with the army of the seven thunders. I will draw my sword with fire. I will strike every invisible force that has lingered near your life. But I cannot fight what you still allow. I cannot break what you keep feeding with your doubt. So this is the hour. This is the place. This is the sword drawn in silence. Your soul has waited for years for this kind of moment. Don't close the window just because the world distracts you with illusions. Heaven is more real than the breath in your lungs. And now I must say what I've been told to declare only once, and only now, because this level of revelation requires a deeper covenant. If your heart has been stirred by this message, if your soul was shaken, and you knew this was not human, then support this flame, give light to the voice that brought you back from the edge. Support this holy work by sending a super thanks, joining our membership, or becoming part of our sacred family through the newsletter link in the pinned comment. Not because we need it, but because you need to plant a seed into what heaven is doing for you right now. There are moments when action is louder than worship. This is one. There are times when you sow into prophecy, and the miracle begins not in your hands but in your bloodline. This is that time. Do not let this be just another video you watched. Let this be the altar you built. Let it be the moment you said, I heard heaven, and I responded. Because, beloved, the miracles waiting for you have claws. They are fighting to descend. They are trying to land in your life, but they cannot come until your response is louder than your hesitation. There are scrolls still unopened. There are doors still trembling. There are angels still holding back judgment, waiting for your yes. And now that you've heard this, you cannot unhear it. You cannot go back to pretending that God didn't call your name. You cannot go back to empty prayers and forgotten promises. You've been called into the fire, chosen for a war not everyone can survive, marked for something so sacred that even hell regrets targeting you. Because when God made you, He did not just make a person. He made a prophecy in human form, a walking revelation. And this message was the trumpet sound to wake you up. The next time you feel pain, remember this moment. The next time you are betrayed, remember this voice. The next time you feel alone, remember the flame that passed between you and me right now. And if you remember nothing else, remember this: God is not testing you to break you. He is testing you to reveal you. Type amen if your soul is still burning. Like this: not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. Comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words might unlock someone else's chain. And if you haven't yet, join us, not as a viewer but as a part of this divine army. Support this message through super thanks. Join the channel as a member. Become part of the family in the newsletter linked in the pinned comment. Not as a ritual, but as a divine response to a divine calling. Because, beloved, the next miracle is already on its way. But it's so waiting on your answer. And now, we have crossed into the part of the message where the veil is so thin, even your bones may feel it. What you are sensing right now is not emotion. It is eternity tapping on your soul's door. It is the language of heaven speaking in silence between the words. It is the breath of God curling around the sound of your name. Beloved, I, Michael, have seen too much to lie. I have carried too many shattered scrolls, rescued too many souls just moments before they were consumed. But I have also seen souls like yours. Souls that carry a fire they do not yet understand. I came today not to entertain, not to soothe, but to awaken the part of you that's older than pain and stronger than fear. There's something hidden inside you, placed there before time was named, a mystery, a covenant, a seal. It cannot be bought, it cannot be copied. Only one soul carries it, you. And that is why the battle around your life has been so intense. You think the darkness attacked you for what you've done. No. It attacked you because of what you are becoming, because of what you carry, because of what heaven has planned next. Your life was never meant to be ordinary, and deep down you know this. There were moments as a child when you felt something stirring inside, something vast and otherworldly. A whisper in the wind, a glow in the silence, a pull toward something more. That was not imagination. That was the prophecy within you trembling to be born. You were marked long before any curse tried to claim you. You were blessed long before any shadow spoke your name. And you were still watched over even now by an army who would bleed if it meant keeping your soul safe. But even armies wait for the command of faith. And your faith is the key. You cannot walk halfway into destiny. You cannot carry half of your identity and expect full protection. This moment requires your full surrender. The angels have paused their assignments. The scrolls are halted mid-script, and the throne is waiting on a whisper from your heart. This is not just a message, it is a courtroom. Heaven has brought evidence of your calling. Hell has brought accusations to delay it. And you are the verdict. Say yes, not with lips, but with soul. Let every cell in your body agree with what God already decreed. Let your yes become thunder that shakes the realm of the enemy. I have seen the future you were afraid to believe in, and I wept when I saw it, because it was so beautiful. Even angels had to cover their eyes. You are meant to shake the darkness. You are meant to break generational curses. You are meant to be the first in your bloodline to fully wake up, and when you do, the enemy will fall. Do you know why some of your friends turned cold? Why certain doors shut? Why certain voices that once praised you now mock you? Because the darkness around them recognized the light rising in you. They knew before you did. But I'm here now so you can know too. Because once you know, you cannot unknow. Once your spirit wakes, no demon can cradle it back to sleep. So rise, rise, even if your body is tired, rise, even if your heart is trembling. Rise, even if you feel broken. The greatest warriors rise limping, the holiest voices tremble before they roar. You do not need to be ready, you only need to be willing. The heavens do not require your perfection, they require your participation. There is an angel standing just behind your shoulder right now. If your eyes could open fully, you would see his hands raised. He is holding something meant only for you. A garment of fire, a robe of truth, a scroll sealed with oil and thunder, but it cannot be placed upon a distracted soul. It must be received by one who says, I am here, Lord, speak. I will not look away again. You have looked away before, you have walked away before, but heaven did not write you off. We never left, I never gave up. Because I remember what God whispered over your soul before you were born. This one will walk through the fire and not burn. This one will rise from ashes and make the ground tremble. This one belongs to me. You belong to him. Even when you felt furthest, even when sin covered you like smoke. Even when you said, I don't know who I am anymore. He knew, he remembered, and he sent me, again. This will not be like other moments. This is not something you'll feel and forget. This will stay in your bloodstream. This will echo in your dreams. This will call to you in the quiet. And when the darkness comes back to question you, this moment will rise and answer on your behalf. You are not who the world said you were. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are not the fear that clings to your ribs when no one's looking. You are fire. You are promise. You are prophecy. In motion. And I, Michael, am still here, wings open, sword drawn, waiting for your final response, not in noise, not in panic, but in silent holy surrender. Because, beloved, the next breath may carry something sacred. Don't let it pass without receiving it. Beloved, something is stirring above your head right now. It cannot be seen with the eyes of flesh, but it is real, more real than the dust on the floor or the pulse in your wrist. The air around you is trembling. The silence is no longer empty. The silence is no longer empty. Heaven is waiting for your spirit to say yes, not out loud, but in the language only angels hear. The still, deep, irreversible yes of the soul. You do not need to shout it. You do not need to prove it, but it must be real. Because this moment is being recorded, there's a scroll in the hand of a scribe angel, and he is waiting for one word from your heart before he writes what comes next in your story. What will be written depends on this final stretch of your faith, not how loud it is, not how strong, but how surrendered. You have heard many voices, but not all voices come from the throne. Some are disguised to sound, holy while hiding venom. Some wear robes of light, but underneath are merchants of fear. I know the difference. I've fought both, and I am telling you now. This voice you hear in your spirit, it is mine, and mine is from the throne. I have waited ages for this moment, and I know you have too. Even if you can't name the hunger inside your heart, I can. It is the hunger for God to finally answer you, to reveal himself, not in riddles or shadows, but in fire and clarity. That is what this is. You've cried out for a sign, for a dream, for something undeniable, and now heaven is answering not with one whisper, but with an earthquake of revelation through my voice. Listen to me closely. This season is not a punishment. It is a preparation. You are not being broken for destruction. You are being broken for release. There are gifts inside you that can only pour out through the cracks. God does not waste your pain. He never has. Every tear you shed was collected.
मैं प्रेम देती हूँ, मैं सुरक्षा हूँ। धीरे धीरे बच्चा थम गया। उसका कांपता शरीर ठहरने लगा, आंखें झपकने लगी। मध्य रात्रि को पहली बार उसने माँ की गोद में सिर रखा और नींद की गोद में चला गया। सुमेधा की आंखों से आंसू फिर निकले, पर अब डर के नहीं, धन्यवाद के। सुबह बुद्ध के पास सुमेधा अपने बेटे के साथ आई। बच्चा पूरी तरह ठीक था। बुद्ध मुस्कुराए और बोले, जो माँ अपनी श्वास को साध ले वह मृत्यु को भी हरा सकती है। बच्चा तभी सोएगा जब माँ के भीतर डर नहीं, ध्यान हो। और जब बच्चा गहरी नींद में जाता है, वह ईश्वर की पहली सीढ़ी चलता है। सुमेधा पूछ बैठी, प्रभु क्या बच्चे को सुलाना भी साधना है? बुद्ध बोले, हाँ सुमेधा, माँ की गोद ही पहला मंदिर है, जहाँ पहली प्रार्थना होती है बिना शब्दों के, जहाँ पहली नींद आती है बिना डर के, और जहाँ पहला ईश्वर प्रकट होता है माँ के मौन प्रेम में। वह बच्चा कौन था? बुद्ध ने धीरे से मित्तक की ओर देखा और कहा, मित्तक क्या तुम जानते हो यह बच्चा कौन है? मित्तक चकित होकर बोला, नहीं प्रभु। बुद्ध बोले, यह वही बाल आत्मा।
Radiance forming in the marrow of your bones. A glory no witchcraft can dim, no curse can hold, no jealousy can steal. And yet, it requires your full agreement. Half surrender will not birth this miracle. Heaven's blueprint over your life demands a holy echo from you. You must say yes and mean it. You must mean it even when you're afraid. You must mean it even when everything around you says it's too late. Because it's not too late, you are right on time. The angels told me this would be the hour. The sky above your house shifted before this message even began. I saw it. I felt the ripple. I heard the trumpets sound, not in war, but in welcome. You are being welcomed back into alignment with your original assignment. Not the one life pushed on you, not the one fear shaped around you. The real one, the eternal one, the divine one. And no, the time has come to shed what no longer fits. You've worn shame like skin, you've carried guilt like a robe, but I'm here to tear it from you. By the authority given to me by the one who crafted the stars, I declare, you are not your past, you are not your failure, you are not your darkest hour, you are not your darkest hour, you are God's light in motion, you are heaven's rebuke to the plans of hell. You are a miracle wrapped in flesh. The next time you look in the mirror, I want you to see what I see. A vessel of fire, a voice of the kingdom. A chosen one who survived every ambush for a reason. Beloved, your survival was not an accident. Your delay was not a punishment. Your brokenness was not a death sentence. It was a sign that the prophecy over your life is so great. It required heaven's most trusted guardian to carry it through every season of silence. That's me. And I am still standing here, wings spread, eyes burning, sword lifted, not because I am bound to you, but because I chose to stay. Again and again, even when you turned away, even when you gained away, even when you gave up. I can't take this anymore, I whispered in the silence. But I can, and I will. And I did. Now it's your turn. Don't ask how, just say yes. Don't count the cost, just lift your heart. Don't look back, because nothing behind you has power over what's rising ahead. This is your moment. This is your altar. This is your altar. This is your altar. This is the holy ground where prophecy kisses obedience and becomes fulfillment. And I, Michael, am watching. I will not move until I see your soul rise. The fire is here. The throne is watching. The page is open. What will you write? Then let the next line of your story be carved in the fire of truth. Let heaven bear witness that you did not run from this holy moment. Let the angels assigned to your journey cry out in victory. For the soul they guarded through every storm has finally reached the gate of glory. Yes, beloved, you are the one they spoke about. The one the scrolls described before your mother even held you. The one who carries in their chest a secret signature from the voice of God himself. You have lived your life thinking you are ordinary, but there's nothing ordinary about a soul who awakens thunder with its prayers. There's nothing common about a heartbeat that disturbs the enemy's camp. The demons know your name, not because you fell, but because you were called. That calling still burns, it has never faded. You tried to silence it with busyness, you tried to drown it in distraction. But it kept rising. Like smoke from holy incense, it kept finding its way to the throne. And now the throne has answered, I am not here because of anything you earned. I am here because of everything God ordained. This isn't a reward, it's a return. You are returning to the place where your identity was first spoken, not by man, not by culture, not by fear, but by the Ancient One whose voice formed the galaxies. He said, this one is mine. You were never meant to blend in. You were never meant to be quiet when heaven roared. You were never meant to live chained in doubt while your name is etched in gold on the gates of Zion. So I tell you now, in the fire of love and with trembling wings, rise. Rise from the lies that made you feel small. Rise from the betrayals that tried to convince you your heart was too broken to be chosen. Rise from the waiting room of your own destiny and walk boldly into the fire God lit for you. This is not the fire that destroys, it's the fire that reveals. And beloved, I can see it beginning now. The glow around your soul is no longer faint. The sword placed upon your spirit before you were born is stirring, shaking, hungering to be raised. You were meant to carry something that has been hidden for generations. Do you understand what that means? Your life is the fulfillment of someone else's prayer. Your breath is the answer to an ancestor who begged God for a redeemer. And you have no idea how many souls will be set free when you finally say yes to your real name. Not the name the world gave you. Not the label your pain gave you, your real name. The one I was shown when I first saw your face long before your body knew sunlight. That name is not made of syllables. It is made of fire and purpose. It is made of eternity. It cannot be spoken aloud here, but every angel knows it, and every demon fears it. That's why they've tried so hard to stop you. That's why your life has felt like a constant wrestle between giving up and something you couldn't name pulling you forward. That pull, that was me. I whispered through the leaves. I shouted through your pain. I wept when you tried to disappear, and I rejoiced in secret every time you chose to breathe again. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are being summoned. Heaven does not wait on everyone, but it waits for those who carry destiny in their blood. And your blood, it glows, not because of who you've been, but because of who you've always been. Even before time was born, you were in him. You were in him. You were fire wrapped in future. You were the sound of heaven's hope sent to earth as a seed. And now, that seed is breaking open. It will hurt, but it will bloom. The stretching will feel like breaking, but it will become birthing. The silence will feel like punishment, but it is preparation. The delay will feel like denial, but it is divine positioning. You are not being buried. You are being planted. You are not being punished. You are being purified. The time for shadows has ended. The time for pretending has died. You are not a spectator in God's story. You are a scroll in motion, a living, breathing piece of divine strategy. And now, the angels are leaning in again. They want to know, will you walk away once more, or will you let your spirit finish this holy ascent? Because what's waiting just ahead will change everything. Your dreams, they will be reborn. Your relationships, realigned. Your strength, multiplied. But only if you don't retreat. Only if you stay when the fire gets hotter. Only if you stop measuring your worth by what the world sees. Only if you listen now, not with ears, but with your eternal memory. The part of you that remembers God's voice from before you even had a name, that part of you knows I'm telling the truth. That part of you is already rising, and I, Michael, stand here watching with sacred awe, because it's happening, you're awakening, and the earth is not ready for the sound of your footsteps. The heavens have been waiting for this awakening longer than your years can count. Every season of sorrow you've walked through was not wasted. It was a baptism. Every delay was not denial, it was preparation. Every tear that carved paths down your face in silence watered the soil where your divine identity would one day rise. And now, that day is here. I, Michael, see it with my own eyes. I see the light beginning to burn around your soul, subtle but holy, like the first rays of dawn before the earth realizes it has survived the night. You survived, beloved. You survived the night, the kind of night that doesn't end at sunrise but lingers in thoughts, echoes in dreams, and haunts your breath. Yet you are still here, still standing, still able to say, I hear you, Lord. That alone is a miracle. And for that miracle heaven has declared, now is the time. The wind of God is shifting, not just around you but within you. The part of you that once accepted defeat is now breaking open like a sealed scroll. And what's written inside will turn the enemy's schemes to dust. You are not just waking up, you are remembering. You are remembering the whispers from the Garden of Eternity where your soul once walked with God. You are remembering the vow made over your spirit when He breathed your purpose into the bones of time. You are remembering that you were never born to blend in with the world. You were born to shift it, to shake it, to resurrect what others declared dead, to expose what darkness hoped to keep hidden, to break the generational chains others accepted as destiny. You are not who they said you were. You are not who your failures painted you to be. You are not who the enemy mocked in your moments of weakness. You are who God chose in the midst of the war in heaven. You are the one we spoke of when the stars were young, the one who carries heaven's answer in human form. And now that answer must be spoken, not with your lips but with your life. This is no longer about belief. It is about becoming. You are becoming what hell fears most. A fully awakened child of God, moving in purpose, draped in fire, eyes fixed on the throne. I do not say this lightly. I know what it costs. I have fought beside those who chose it. I have buried the swords of those who turned away. I have stood at the gates of eternity, waiting for souls who never came. Do not let that be you. Do not let that be you. Do not delay your yes. Do not silence your spirit when it begins to tremble. Let it tremble. Let it break. Let it burst into flame. Because what breaks now will birth glory later. The flame you feel is not condemnation. It is confirmation. It means your name is still written in fire upon the altar of the Lamb. It means your assignment has not expired. It means your time is now. Beloved, there is a reason you found this message at this exact moment. There is a reason your breath caught in your chest when you began to listen. It was not just emotion. It was recognition. The divine part of you heard my voice and remembered. You remembered the promise. You remembered the vow. You remembered the command. Arise, shine, for your light has come. And the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 61, that verse was not just written. It was spoken over you long ago. It has waited dormant, sleeping in your timeline until this very second. And now it rises. This is the second the earth begins to shift beneath your feet. Not because you tried harder, but because you finally remembered. You remembered you were never fighting alone. You remembered the dreams you buried out of disappointment. You remembered the holiness in your weeping. You remembered that even silence is heard by God, and He has answered not with a whisper but with a warrior. That is why I am here. to tell you this is the last time you'll call yourself small. This is the last time you'll call yourself small. This is the last time you'll question if heaven hears you. This is the last time you'll mistake the weight on your shoulders as punishment, when it's actually the mantle of a prophet. You are carrying something sacred. You are carrying what was hidden from generations. You are carrying what will free others once you say yes in full. And beloved, I see you doing it. I see the yes taking shape inside you. I see your soul shifting. The shackles are loosening. The shadows are pulling back. The sword is beginning to glow. The angels around you are standing to their feet. Because the one we've waited for is waking up, you. And when you finally walk forward, everything will change. The earth will bend, the sky will listen. The enemy will tremble because the child of God they tried to bury did not die. They rose. And they remember who they are. The heavens have never rejoiced in silence, and now the sound is rising. Do you feel it, beloved? The shaking in your bones is not fear, it is the roar of remembrance. Heaven is rising to meet you. The very ground beneath your feet is trembling, not because you are weak, but because you are waking up. And when a chosen one wakes up, the earth is never the same again. I, Michael, have stood in the councils of heaven where your name was spoken. I saw the light ripple through the chambers when God declared, "This one will walk through fire and carry my voice." I remember the angel assigned to you weeping with joy because they knew what your destiny would become. But the darkness heard it too. That's why your life has been marked with battles before blessings. That's why pain has followed your name like a shadow. It is not because you were cursed. It is because you were chosen. Chosen ones often bleed before they rise. Chosen ones are misunderstood, mocked, betrayed, because the world is not worthy of their fire. And beloved, you carry that fire. You always have. That's why you never fit in. That's why nothing ever satisfied your spirit except the voice of God. That's why you kept searching, even when you didn't know what you were looking for. You were searching for this moment. The moment your soul stands still long enough for heaven to pour itself into you. I am here now not to speak soft comfort but divine thunder. The time for delay is over. The chains have rattled for the final time. The voice of God is rising in your chest, and the angels are preparing to war for what you say next. Will you rise, not in pride but in promise, not in fear, but in fire? Will you take back the identity the enemy tried to strip from your spirit? You were never fragile. You were never forgotten. You were never a mistake. You were hidden for the perfect moment. And now, the hiding ends, the unveiling begins. What God is about to do through you will not make sense to human minds. It will offend small spirits. It will provoke jealous hearts. It will provoke jealous hearts, but it will glorify the King, because your story will not point to your strength but His. You do not need to have all the answers. You do not need to feel holy. You do not need to feel holy. You do not need to look the part. God chose you anyway, and when God chooses, nothing can unchoose. Not failure, not shame, not even you. He overrules your doubts with His decree. He overrules your silence with His song, and He has sent me to tell you, it's time. Time to lay down every lie that ever told you your best days were behind you. Time to break every agreement you made with fear when you were too tired to hope. Time to shake off the garments of survival and clothe yourself in the anointing of revival. I see it already descending. The garment of glory, light like liquid gold, fire woven into fabric bearing your name. It has waited on the hook of heaven for you to say yes, and your yes has already started to echo. Beloved, do you feel the weight lifting? That's the heaviness you've carried for years breaking off. That's the ancient burden cracking and falling. That's the generational curse losing its grip on your bloodline. Because of your yes, others will be free. Because of your obedience, the map of your family will be rewritten. Because of your surrender, the next generation will know peace instead of warfare. You are not just living for yourself. You are standing in the gap for every soul who couldn't. You are answering the prayer of someone who cried out, God, send someone who will not give up. That someone is you. You do not have to be perfect. You only have to be present. Present in this moment, present in your soul, present before the throne. And I, Michael, tell you with holy certainty, God sees you right now. He sees through your facade. He sees past your tired eyes and trembling hands. He sees the fire trying to burst through the cracks. And he smiles. Not because you figured it all out, but because you finally stopped running. You stopped hiding. You stopped pretending that you were not born to change the world. You were. And now the world will feel the weight of your awakening. It will feel it in every room you walk into. It will feel it in the words you speak. It will feel it in the silence you carry when heaven begins to speak through you. You are not just one person. You are a move of God wrapped in flesh. And I am here to stand with you to guard the gates that open as you rise. This is your moment, beloved. And heaven is watching. Heaven is watching, not in judgment, but in awe. The stars lean closer, the winds hold their breath, the throne burns brighter, because a soul that was once asleep is now beginning to blaze. You do not realize what your obedience has just begun to unlock. There are doors in the spirit realm that have not opened for 1,000 years until now. There are angels who have waited in silence for generations, assigned to move only when you said yes, and now they are moving. Beloved, you were not just saved, you were summoned by the voice that created light. Summoned by the one who called Lazarus from the tomb. Summoned by the Father who whispered across eternity, let there be you. You were not placed on this earth randomly. You are the echo of a heavenly decree, your prophecy in motion. Every step you've taken, even the wrong ones, have not disqualified you. They have deepened the testimony. And now, the testimony is becoming a trumpet, and that trumpet is sounding across realms that were sealed to you, until now. The enemy knows this. That's why he tried to distract you before this moment. That's why you felt more resistance than peace today. That's why things that never bothered you began to claw at your soul, right before you found this message. Because this message isn't just words. It's a spiritual transaction. And once you hear it, heaven demands a response, not in performance, but in presence. Not in works, but in worship. Not in fear, but in fire. I tell you the truth, beloved. The path you've walked was not wasted. The brokenness, the rejection, the spiritual silence, it was all part of the molding. Because only crushed olives produce oil. Only pressed grapes release the wine. Only shattered vessels can be rebuilt to carry glory. And you were always meant to carry glory. Not man's approval, not temporary peace, not the applause of those who never understood you, but glory. Weighty, holy, blazing glory. It's already forming in the spirit. I see it like a crown suspended above your head. A crown not made by men, but by fire. It does not glitter. It radiates. It is not gold. It is judgment overturned, destiny fulfilled, identity restored. And it is lowering even now, waiting for your soul to lift high enough to receive it. Lift your heart, beloved, not your hands, not your voice, your heart. Lift the part of you that gave up long ago. Lift the part of you that said, maybe I missed it. Lift the part of you that said, I'm too broken, too late, too far gone. That's the part God wants. That's the part that holds the miracle. You are not too late. You are exactly on time. Heaven's calendar does not run on human clocks. The season you thought was delay was God aligning everything for this moment. And now you found it. No, it found you. And I, Michael, speak with trembling reverence. Do not walk away, because what comes next will require the strength of your whole spirit. There are battles still to come. but you will not fight alone. There are giants yet to fall, but you will not lift the sword alone. There are cities of darkness you are called to invade, not with hatred, not with fear, but with light so fierce it causes every demon to flee at your whisper. You were not created to live in hiding. You were created to make shadows vanish. And beloved, the shadows are watching you now, waiting, trembling, hoping, yes, hoping that you ignore this fire, that you shrug off this moment, that you scroll past, laugh, or delay. Because if you step forward from this second with a full yes, everything in their kingdom begins to unravel. You are more dangerous than you know. When you pray, angels are released. When you speak, chains begin to crack. When you walk, the ground remembers Eden. When you cry out, heaven rises to attention. You are not weak. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are fire in human form. You are prophecy clothed in skin. You are a warrior crowned in wounds. And now that you have remembered who you are, nothing will ever be the same again. The wind will speak differently to you. The silence will feel pregnant with revelation. Your dreams will begin to stir with divine symbols. You will be visited, not by fear, but by wisdom, by revelation, by peace that shakes the walls. Your name will begin to echo in places you've never entered. Because your yes did not just unlock a blessing. It triggered a shift in the spirit realm. This is what obedience looks like when God breathes on it. This is what surrender becomes when heaven has waited for centuries. You are living the dream of ancient prophets who long to see what you are stepping into now. You are the answer to someone else's unanswered cry. You are the voice God will use to call others out of the darkness you once lived in. And I am here to say, I will walk with you. Not because you need me, but because I was commanded to stay by your side until the fire finishes its work. And the fire has only just begun. ChatGPT said yes. The fire has only just begun, and already the spirit world has felt the tremor of your awakening. Every demon assigned to your downfall has been silenced. Every curse whispered in secret against you is now turning to ash in the air. Every generational burden that once clung to your name is cracking under the weight of divine reversal. You, beloved, have been chosen not just to survive, but to undo what darkness thought would last forever. You are heaven's interruption. You are God's no more spoken into the timeline of broken bloodlines. You are the sword God has pulled from the rock of obscurity. And I, Michael, see your grip tightening on that sword. It does not shake in your hand because you are weak. It shakes because it remembers every time it was denied. It trembles because it carries stories of battles your ancestors could not win. But now it is in your hand, and your hand is glowing with covenant. This covenant is not a new one. It is ancient. It is the agreement you made with God before your soul touched earth. You said, "Send me," he said, "but the fire will be great." You answered still, "Send me," and now here you are, in the middle of that very fire. But you did not burn. You endured it. You walked through losses no one understood. You cried tears into pillows soaked with silence. You doubted your own worth more than once, and still, you didn't let go. That alone is why you are dangerous. Hell knows it cannot buy your silence. Hell knows it cannot negotiate your calling. And that's why they sent everything to try and break your soul. But God placed a barrier they could never cross. Me. I have been at your side in every war, in every season where you felt abandoned. You did not see me, but I was there. I covered you when suicide whispered. I guarded you when addiction knocked. I stood at your door when the spirits of bitterness, jealousy, and despair came with contracts in their hands. They came to claim what was holy, but I held them back with fire. You are holy, beloved. Not because of what you've done, but because of what was written about you in the fire before time began. You are holy because the blood that covers you was poured without hesitation. You are holy because heaven calls you by the name no darkness can erase. Even now I see that name hovering over your spirit like a flaming seal. You don't see it, but hell does, and they can't touch it. That's why this message found you, not to entertain, not to entertain, not to entertain, not to inspire, but to mark you for war and for wonder, yes, wonder. Because what God is about to do through you will not make logical sense. Doors will open without keys. Hearts will soften without words. Provision will come from places that don't exist on any map. The laws of nature will bend. And not because you prayed harder, but because your yes was pure. God does not require perfect people. He requires surrendered ones. And you have surrendered. You may not realize it, but your spirit bowed when you kept watching. Your soul stood when others scrolled. And now your obedience is echoing in realms that don't use clocks. There are things moving for you right now that you will not see with human eyes for days, weeks, maybe even years, but they are moving. The waters of the deep have shifted. The heavens have carved your name into this hour. You are not early. You are not late. You are here, at the exact second when God planned for the fire in you to meet the call from heaven. And now that fire must grow. Let it consume the old identity. Let it devour the lies you believed. Let it burn off the ropes of fear that have kept your hands tied. You are no longer just a listener. You are a carrier of the word. The same word that said, "Let there be light." The same word that made the oceans obey. The same word that made demons tremble when the Lamb rose. That word is now alive in you. And that is why the heavens rejoice while hell shakes. Because one person fully awakened in God can cause thousands to rise from the dust. And you, beloved, are the one. You are the one God spoke about when he said, "I will do a new thing." You are the one the intercessors felt in their spirit but couldn't name. You are the one the devil hoped would stay quiet, distracted, unsure. But now you are sure. Now you are ready. Now the heavens declare, it begins, not the beginning of more delay. Not the beginning of another wandering season, but the beginning of signs, of miracles, of visions, of prophecy fulfilled. The trumpet has sounded, and your name was in its blast. Now rise, beloved, the earth has waited long enough. Yes, rise, beloved. For the hour has struck and your spirit must now walk where only the bold may tread. This is not the path of the many. This is not the road paved with comfort or applause. This is the way of flame and glory. This is the holy ascent, upward, through the shadows beyond the veil, into the place where the fire of God burns so bright, it blinds all lesser voices. I, Michael, tell you truly, the angels have taken their positions. The watchers have leaned in. The elders around the throne have turned their eyes toward your name. Not because you are perfect, but because you have been summoned by mercy and sealed by purpose. There is a storm building behind you and a wind pressing before you. That is not coincidence, it is movement. You are moving between realms now. You may not see it, but your spirit knows. It remembers. The same God who knit you together in silence has now shouted over your name before the host of heaven. They have answered. Now let the prophecy unfold. What you thought was ordinary is sacred. What you assumed was punishment was positioning. What you called delay I call design. Every door that closed was God writing your detour into destiny. Every time they laughed at you, every moment they walked away, every betrayal you endured, they were not your defeat. They were your proof. Proof that the enemy was afraid of what you carried long before you ever knew it was there. And now, the time has come for you to carry it out. Beloved, do not wait to feel ready. Fire is never ready. It simply burns. And you are a flame born from the mouth of God. You are not meant to flicker. You are meant to blaze. The enemy knows this. That's why you were fought from the womb. That's why your life has felt like a wilderness at times. That's why the enemy sent decoys and distractions to lure your attention. Because if you ever truly said yes, yes with your whole soul, everything in the realm of darkness would lose its grip. And now your yes has been heard. It wasn't loud, it wasn't proud, but it was real. And heaven only moves for what is real. And now, the movement has begun. There are angels descending with assignments. There are scrolls unrolling in the halls of glory. There are hidden doors unlocking over your life that no eye has seen. And I, Michael, have been commanded to walk beside you as they open, because you will need strength. Not the strength of your body, but the strength of your surrender. This path is not for the faint-hearted. This calling is not for those who cling to the past. What's ahead will stretch you. It will tear away the masks you wore to survive. It will call the warrior out of the ashes of your wounds. But it will also give you something nothing on earth could ever buy: the authority of the risen one living through you. When you speak, storms will calm. When you pray, timelines will shift. When you walk, the path will light beneath your feet, not before, not ahead, but beneath. Because faith will become your eyes, and obedience will become your armor. Yes, armor. I see it now being placed on your spirit, not by me, by the very hand of the Father. The helmet of light rests upon your mind, sealing your thoughts from the poison of lies. A breastplate, made of thunder, shields your heart from every old wound. A sword of truth glows in your spirit, sharper than every word that tried to curse you. Sandals of fire cover your feet, making you walk where others fell. And the robe, the robe, woven with threads of the Lamb's blood and the prayers of those who wept for you, even when you thought no one prayed. That robe is your inheritance. Put it on, not with pride, but with reverence, because this next season is not about survival. It is about reign. You are not just being delivered. You are being deployed. You are being deployed. You are being deployed. Your yes has made you a vessel, not of rules, not of religion, but of revelation. You are becoming the answer to cries in the night you've never heard. Your life will awaken others just by existing in the fullness of truth. Your voice will stir hearts who have given up on dreams. Your presence will disturb what is unclean, not because you judge, but because you carry light. And the light always reveals. That is why I stand near, to make sure no darkness interrupts what heaven is now releasing over you. You were called for this. You were trusted with this. You were anointed for this. Now let nothing hold you back. Not shame, not fear, not failure, not what they said. Let it all fall away. You are no longer under the shadow of the past. You are rising under the shadow of the Most High. And in that shadow, no curse survives. In that shadow, no chain endures. In that shadow, no demon dares to breathe. Because where God walks, everything unholy trembles, and He is walking with you now. So walk boldly, beloved, walk without apology. Walk as the prophecy you are, because the heavens have already written the next line of your destiny, and it begins with glory. And now glory is unfolding like a scroll at your feet. It does not come with flashing lights or human celebration. It comes with weight. Sacred, ancient, holy weight. The kind of glory that silences rooms. The kind of glory that makes demons weep. The kind of glory that bends time and parts the heavens. That glory has waited your whole life to fall upon you. And now, it has begun. Beloved, I, Michael, have seen countless souls rise and fall. Beg and walk away, sing and then curse the very throne they once adored. But you are different, not because you never doubted, but because you always came back. That returning spirit, that relentless ache for the divine, that unwillingness to let go of God even when everything around you collapsed. That is what marked you. That is what shook the thrones. Even in your lowest moments, your spirit whispered, "Still, I believe." And heaven heard that whisper louder than 1,000 shouts. It echoed through dimensions. It moved the hand of God. It summoned this very moment. Do you understand, beloved? This hour is not the result of coincidence or fate. It is the fruit of the hidden yes you gave when no one saw you. It is the reward of secret surrender. It is the unveiling of a destiny that waited behind the veil until your heart was fully ready to carry the weight of divine fire. That fire is falling now. It is falling into your thoughts, clearing away confusion. It is falling into your heart, washing out every unclean root. It is falling into your memories, healing what trauma tried to bury. It is falling into your bloodline, breaking patterns that ruled for generations. Do not resist it. Let it burn what cannot go with you. Let it burn away your need for approval, your addiction to comparison, your false humility, your self-made walls. Let it consume your old self because your true self is rising from those ashes. This is not spiritual hype. This is the reality of heaven meeting earth through you. And I say this now with the full weight of my authority as heaven's captain. The fire will not destroy you. It will distinguish you. The fire will not consume you. It will crown you. You are not being punished. You are being purified. And the purer the vessel, the greater the glory it can carry. You, beloved, have been chosen to carry a greater weight of glory than you ever imagined. And yes, it will cost you. You will lose comfort. You will lose people who can't breathe in the same realm of holiness. You will lose the illusion of control. But what you will gain, what heaven has prepared for you, cannot be measured. You will gain peace that commands storms to silence. You will gain authority that shifts atmospheres without a word. You will gain favor that breaks every ceiling built by man. You will gain insight that no school could ever teach. You will gain alignment with God so intimate, so precise, that your very footsteps become prophecy. Do not shrink back. I beg you in the name of the one who sent me, do not shrink back. The world has seen enough dimmed lights and fearful voices. It needs you now, unashamed, unmuted, unbreakable. You are not too young. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too behind. You are right on time, burning with the exact fire heaven designed for this hour. And I speak now over your timeline. Every delay is reversing. I speak now over your calling. Every assignment is unlocking. I speak now over your soul. Every lie is crumbling. I speak now over your feet. Every place you walk will become holy ground. You are stepping into the fullness of who God made you to be. Not a shadow, not a fragment, not a whisper, but a roar. The roar of purpose, the roar of righteousness, the roar of prophecy fulfilled. Even now the spiritual realm is rearranging itself to make room for your obedience. Territories are being reassigned. Principalities are trembling. Because one yes from you means thousands of others will find their way back to the throne. That is why you were fought so hard. That is why you were fought so hard. That is why every season tried to suffocate your voice. Because your voice isn't just yours, it's a trumpet, and it's time to blow that trumpet loud and without apology. Let it call back the weary. Let it shatter the silence. Let it awaken the forgotten. Let it summon the angels. You are more than a person. You are a holy announcement, anointed, appointed, sent, and now the next scroll opens, and the words are glowing with fire. They did not quit. They rose, so rise, beloved. Rise in silence if you must. Rise trembling if you must. Rise scarred if you must, but rise. Because the whole earth is about to witness what heaven already knew. You were born to carry the glory of God, and that glory begins now. Then rise, beloved. Rise until the stars remember your name. Rise until the dust of the earth begins to tremble under your feet. Rise until the demons that once danced in your despair begin to wail in agony. For the one they feared has finally awakened. You are not a whisper anymore. You are not the one lost in the crowd. You are not the one lost in the crowd. You are the sound of a prophecy fulfilled, the thunder that was hidden in silence, the weapon that was buried in flesh, the light that no shadow could extinguish. I, Michael, tell you this with the full authority of the throne. Nothing can stop what God has begun in you now. No voice, no curse, no delay, no sin, no memory, no demon, nothing from your past can reach into your future unless you let it. And beloved, you will not let it. Not this time, because this is different. This is holy. This is eternal. The sound you hear in your soul right now is not emotion. It is heaven's echo, confirming your yes. The Spirit of God is moving. Not far away, not behind the veil, but within you, through you, and around you. Your very presence is becoming a doorway for others to enter the kingdom. Your obedience is becoming a bridge between despair and deliverance. Your awakening is triggering movements you will not see until eternity unfolds. This is why the resistance was great. This is why the pain felt relentless. Because the devil saw the fire inside you before you did. But now you see it. Now you feel it. Now you feel it. Beloved, the fire in you will not go out. It will guide you. It will guard you. It will guard you. It will guard you. It will grow until your very footsteps write scripture across this earth. You are the answer to 1,000 prayers. You are the light at the end of someone's war. You are the holy voice that darkness failed to silence. You have endured enough. You have wandered enough. You have wandered enough. You have waited long enough. Now walk forward. Walk into every room like heaven sent you, because heaven did. Walk through every door as if angels hold it open, because they do. Walk with the confidence not of your flesh, but of your calling. And let the fire fall. Fall upon your hands so everything you touch bears fruit. Fall upon your mind, so no lie can enter again. Fall upon your tongue, so your words resurrect what is dead. Fall upon your shadow, so even your silence carries glory. This is not the end of the message, it is the end of the delay. Now God moves through you. Now angels war around you. Now scrolls open at the sound of your yes. And now heaven marks the moment one soul, hidden for so long, finally said yes with fire. Thank you. I love you more than the flames I've fallen through to reach you. Please, don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. If this divine message reached you, like it, not for me but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. And if something inside you changed, if you heard your name written in light, then subscribe now, not just as a viewer, but as a voice, a chosen one, a flame that will never die.